Now let's look at this story on the Daily Guide. It says Mahama shares cash. The story is suggesting that there's a video footage that has surfaced on social media in which the president is seen standing in his open-top V8 Toyota Land Cruiser and doling out cash to people in the streets during a campaign tour of the Greater Accra region. The paper says in that video, the presidential convoy is seen moving at a snail pace on the street of Sabon at Abosokan, with President Mahama sporting a white cap on top of a black colored t-shirt and responding to cheers from admirers. Now, as the crowd cheered on, he beckoned someone from the crowd to come and ordered his driver to stop. He's then seen reaching out for money from the vehicle and giving it out to the person who meandered his way through the crowd amidst tight security to take the money. The story again goes on to say that a few people were also beckoned to come, and they also received cash from the president. Dr. Boateng, let me quickly start with you here on this. Now, this issue of vote buying, are we able to stop it? Is the electorate able to perhaps stop this practice? I think they will be the persons to stop it.
Unfortunately, no. I think it's going to continue, because this has been there for years and for decades, and it depends on how the people perceive it. Normally, when it is money sharing, I am not very sure if the president comes to any of these university campuses in his open-top V8 Toyota Land Cruiser, he will ever give money to anyone. It is always targeted at particular places. If he goes to the village and they shout 50 Ghana cedis, sadly, it will be seen as the president supporting them, or any other political party, but they will not look at it from the point of view that this is not something that is sustainable, and that I will not sell my vote for 50 cedis for 4 years. That is not how people will look at it. They will look at it as being a national cake that the president is dishing, and they are even lucky to have been beckoned to come for money from the whole president.
So they don't think it's vote buying?
No, some of them will not look at it from that angle. That said, we should also be very, very careful in drawing such conclusions. If it is not a political rally, I go to my village, I give out money. It does not mean that I am buying anybody's vote. So traditionally, we are also used to supporting the vulnerable. Sometimes even people who do not belong to our families, or they are not part of our families or friends, we still dish out money. But in this case, he was doing it possibly during a political rally, and that is what makes it worrying, if it is true. And he's not only doing that. Sorry, he's not the only person doing that. Sorry. The other political parties are equally doing this. It is only that in this case it was captured in a video.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly, sorry. Allegedly it was captured in a video, but other political parties are doing same. It's just like the promises that Nana was talking about. The whole country has become political parties giving all sorts of promises, including supporting people. Which political party has not promised to build roads in Ghana? Which did not promise to improve on the education in Ghana? Which political party did not talk about improving monies in our pockets in Ghana? They all did. But at the end, if you look at the political promises that have been made since Kwame Nkrumah's day, if we had even executed 10%, Ghana will be a developed country. Whether they don't know the enormity of the programs, or they just want to deceive us into voting them into power, and when they come to power, it then becomes comparisons and excuses. They begin to give excuses that Ghana has not got this, I didn't know this, and then the next thing is, let us compare ourselves to the previous administration. We did this, and MPP did this, and we have done better. NDC did this, and we have done better. it's become too much of political promises and deceit, and it's become a high time that we stop all this. And the electric can help us a lot, because that 50 Ghana cedis given to whoever is not going to sustain you for 4 years. Divide 4 years by
50 cedis.
Or 50 cedis by 4 years. And you realize that for one day it will be 0.00 something pesos.
I can't even buy
isn't it?
chewing gum.
So why would you buy my vote for 50
right.
cedis?
Right, Ricky. So how do we deal with this problem?
Right. In 1992, when I had the privilege of being taught by Mr. Kofi Dra, political science in the University of Ghana, I remember quite succinctly him saying that political science has been bereft of any new theory. And the only one that came into light was Patreon clientelism, which is what happens in African politics.
Please calm down. There are engineers here.
The patron clientelism here basically means that I am an MP. I make sure that I take care of somebody in my constituency, maybe the chairman. The chairman then makes sure that he takes care of certain people. So those people are voting for me because if they vote for me, I can take care of the chairman, and when the chairman is there, he can take care of them. So they don't really concern themselves with policies. Now, another thing that comes to mind is give the people what they want. It's an egg and chicken business. If we want to concern ourselves with this, we'll talk till the hens come back to roost. What is the point telling the truth when the people don't want to hear the truth? We've been fed fat lies. We've been fed illusions, fantasies. And somehow, we gullibly take those fantasies and go and vote the people in. You go, Brad, you and I, let's go to my constituency, and you tell them you want to bring the rule of law, you want to make sure that any parent that does not send his child to school is going to be sent to court. Lord have mercy, where is this man coming from? But I'm going to tell them, you know what, all the bald-headed people are going to have hair when I come into, and they are going to vote for me. That is the culture that we have brought into being. So a politician is not a moralistically very astute person. A politician's end is power by any means necessary. Many of them are variants of Machiavelli. If it is, I don't believe that the president actually handed money out. I am not saying that the president doesn't do vote buying. I'll be terribly disappointed if he actually removed money and gave publicly. There are so many other ways that vote buying is going on. You know, like for example, giving all chiefs brand new Land Cruisers every 4 years, just so that it is almost coincidental with election year. I mean, I respect chief. My late dad was a chief. I hope he was around to get one of these Land Cruisers. But the point here is, I do not think that the president actually did this. And if you look in the article, it says that, oh, the person who filmed it was an amateur person. It's just a little caveat in case somebody comes out to say, in fact, it was cooked up. Essentially, vote buying is going to continue, like Doc said. It's going to continue because the person who receives the 50 cedis is receiving it not because they think their vote is 50 cedis. It's because that's their only chance at getting something from this country. That is their only chance. If you go to the hospital with your NHIS card, you probably can only get paracetamol. You can't get any antibiotic, you can't get anything else. So if the man arrives and he says, take a new t-shirt and take 50 cedis, what am I supposed to do? No. I know my rights, I know my principles, and he goes away and he still gets voted. So the people are realists. You and I are speaking grammar. These people realize that their only chance. Look, my late grandma used to say that she wished we voted every year. And I was like, why on earth would you want us to vote every year? I said, well, you see, the thing is, every year, at least the young ladies get sewing machines, the young men get motorbikes, and we get t-shirts, and those of you who like to drink get gallons of apetishi. And then you have to wait 4 years until they come. So if they do it every year. But my area, Domi, they've made the road, they've asphalted it. Believe me, if we're voting next year, they will extend it.
Okay.
The point is, the people have been reduced to beggars. This social contract where we are giving them the power to work for us is a complete mirage.
Ricky, I'm grateful. Another wrap up from you on this.
All right. I think the issue is with education.
We can stop it?
We can. For example, a starting point, the media. I think the media has a very important role to play. A manifesto was just given out by the NDC. What I wish what the media would do is take the 2012 manifesto, look at what was achieved, and then compare it to this 2016 manifesto. That is what the public need to see. Where if you are in any functional company, you look at the budget, you compare it to the actual, and then you do an analysis on the variance to determine what went wrong and what should be fixed. Unfortunately, all that we read about was the 2016 manifesto of the NDC, and there was no attempt by the media to compare that to the 2012 manifesto. And I wish one of these days we'll be invited to this platform to juxtapose the two and have a very honest, blunt, and realistic discussion about that. Because what the people are promised is almost hogwash compared to what is delivered to them, almost always. And I think the moment political parties start realizing that whatever they are going to put out in their campaign messages and their manifesto, there will be a day of reckoning, perhaps. Best that they make, and secondly, it will also make them accountable. So the has a role to play to ensure that people are fed with the information, as if going out and giving somebody 50 Ghana cedis or 20 Ghana cedis, or if you look at what ministers of state have been doing lately, outdoor boats for fishermen, gas cylinders, fishing nets, motorbikes, as if it's Christmas all over again. With our economy the way it is, with our debt profile, with the government for the first time taxing literally everything just to bridge the gap between expenditure and revenue, this is not the time for government to go on a spending spree. So if elections keep on following this pattern, where Ghanaians now decide to vote on 3 basic lines: what are you bringing to me? Which tribe are we coming from? Which religion lately are we also affiliated to? These 3 pivots are dangerous to our democracy and will not inure to the long-term benefit of the electorate.
I'm grateful. Nana Frederick Pambo is chairman of InvestPro Limited. Dr. Francis Boateng Jenim is an energy expert, and Ricky Kasi Sipepra is a founder of the Youth Enterprise Development Network. Gentlemen, I'm grateful for your time this morning. Thanks so much for coming.